Hi.
Hello. How are you
You
doing?
can.
Oh, I can't hear. I heard you, but then now I can't.
Oh,
Yes, now I can.
okay. Is that
Yes.
you can?
Yes, I
Oh,
can.
okay. Good.
How are you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
I am also. I must say I'm okay. I'm pretty good. I'm hanging in there. How was your week? What's going on? What's new?
What's going on is that we're expecting 10 inches of snow in a few hours. It's going
Hey,
to.
where are you? Are you
I'm in
in?
the country.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
be quite a lot here and in the city
yeah.
overnight. So we'll see. But we have our groceries,
Good.
so
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're prepared for it. Yeah.
We
Um,
had our snow excitement last week. It wasn't much. The bigger thing here is ice. The roads get very, very icy.
mm,
Um,
mm,
because we get more freezing rain is a bigger problem than actually snow. Um,
yeah.
I missed. I was supposed to. Well, I did go to Olympia last week, but then I was supposed to go the next day and meet with legislators and talk about education and all that. But I couldn't because I did get snowed in that day. But I'm going this week as well. How is it? Are you going to stay in the country? Or are you going to go?
No, no, I'll go back tomorrow. I mean, unless it's really bad,
Yeah,
uh, I'll drive back tomorrow afternoon because I've got to work. I've got work stuff on Monday and
yeah,
through the week. I mean, it's yeah. So that's pretty normal.
yeah.
I have a normal week ahead of me, but I don't know. New York City's pretty resilient in even in snow. So
Yes.
I if I can get back there, I don't think there'll be a problem. I mean, if worst comes to worst, I can stay here, but it's not,
Sure. No. Sure. Sure. Sure.
it'll
And
be
you
fine.
okay? You still have you're in a Jeep, yes? A Wrangler?
In what?
A Jeep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I got four-wheel drive.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 years old. It's good. I keep it in good shape. I mean,
Yes. No. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I keep it up. Yeah. How
I
about
found what?
you have quite a few vehicles,
I have quite
right?
a few vehicles and none of them are running. So I just found out. So my car is a 4x4, but the loaner they gave me isn't. Otherwise, I probably would have been able to make it to Olympia. Um, but yeah, no, they said it was. This is the thing that broke down on my birthday. So it's now been over a month. First they said it was one thing, then they said it was another. It was going to cost $2,000. It was going to cost $4,000. Then they said it's the whole like everything, and it has to be flushed. And I said, I mean, it's you have to have a sunk cost at some point, and so
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah. So yet again, I am looking for another vehicle. I might buy a Jeep, so I can be like my dad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have one Jeep, but I can't drive it. It runs, but I can't drive it. And then the other vehicles I have to get rid of. Like I have to. I just can't. Like I have become that neighbor with the. They're not quite on cinder blocks on the grass, but I am. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely my year of downsizing. I'm definitely, of yeah. So
Yeah. Well, we're
yeah,
trying to downsize too,
for
but
sure, no, for sure. And you don't. I think I asked you this. I ask you this like every other year. You don't have any vehicles that run that you're not using right now that aren't.
no,
Yeah,
no. We only have two.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And
We have
remind
two
me what
Jeeps.
Victoria drives again.
The Cherokee.
Yeah, oh, she's yeah, and then that's also around the same age, and maybe a little bit
It's
like just
exactly the same age.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
And she's always been
yeah.
happy with
Yeah.
it. I've
We
looked at
bought it in
Cherokees too.
2021, in 21, early, I think. And she keeps hers in very good shape because she drives much more than I do
Yes,
because she'll
yeah,
go
yeah, yeah.
drive to Minnesota or something like that. So,
Yeah.
I can't drive that long.
Right.
So
well, I mean, I've done it. I used to. Yeah, no, I don't want to anymore either. I don't like long haul driving anymore.
I get shin splints and I get pain in my legs. I mean, I can do it an hour or 2 hours, but
Sure.
I can't do a long haul. It just
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do because we are replacing the elevator at the gallery,
Oh,
and it's going to be out from June until September.
Oh
So,
wow, yeah.
and my office is on the fifth
I was
floor.
like, you're on the top. Yeah, yeah.
So
Can you? I mean, is there? Could they? Could you move temporary? I mean, is,
I don't.
I mean, no. Is that okay? Is that too much, or is that? I
I
don't.
don't quite know what's going to happen. It could take me an hour to get to. It should take me an hour to get up, and uh, and then anybody who comes to see me will have to walk up to my office. I'm not coming. I'm not going
Yeah, yeah,
down.
yeah,
I'll bring my lunch with me.
yeah.
I won't be going
Oh,
out to lunch. I'll tell you that.
the
So I just saw that Tony Roberts passed away.
the motivational guy. The
No, the Woody Allen guy. The actor who is in all the Woody Allen movies.
okay. I don't know why that.
Oh, okay. I'll show you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll show you because what's interesting about him, uh, if I can if I can find it, um, he's kind of good looking-ish, tall Jewish guy with he's like
Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
so so he's my Ed Koch in the sense that he used to follow me around New York, you know.
Yes.
I actually I didn't see him I never saw him on Broadway. I
Mhm.
saw him in a couple of movies, but I saw him on the street all the time. Like he
Yes.
was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would he? But is it? Would you be in that district, in that neighborhood, like the
I'd see him. I think I'd
anywhere?
see him
Just
anywhere.
yeah,
Anywhere. Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like ubiquitous. I'd
After
see him at a restaurant. I'd see him have a meal. We didn't interact though.
mhm.
So, um, uh, Kanye West
Which
is
part?
well, he's declared he's a Nazi and he hates Jews.
Wait again, or
Well, he apologized and then he doubled down on it,
okay?
apparently.
I have to no. All right. So what I don't understand. So he shows up at the Grammys with his wife, and then there becomes a whole controversy about her dress, and I'm like, are we really going to talk about her dress? We're not. He didn't have a seat at the Grammys, by the way. He just showed up. I'm like,
Oh,
why are you even taking pictures of them? Don't take pictures of them. Certainly don't report on her dress. Or that's not the controversy. The controversy is still. I mean, I don't remember whether he apologized or didn't apologize. He has said these things for years. There are lawsuits where he showed employees, pictures of Hitler, and I mean, this is not new, and so any apology is, the barest attempt at spin, but not even really, because it's even when he apologizes it's with like a wink and a.
so he's very good at getting press. Is that it?
I don't understand. He was nominated for a Grammy this year, which tells you something about the system. He put out two albums. They were bestsellers. They both went to number one, and they both
Oh,
had
okay.
multiple features with multiple artists who did not feel the need to disavow him. Or I mean, there's a
Oh,
whole lot
okay.
of separate the art from the artist with Kanye, or with Ye, as he prefers to be referred to now.
Ye, ye, yay, ye.
Um,
Yeah, they took a lot of photographs of his wife and then they blurred most of it out, which seemed to me to be kind of like self-defeating, right?
well, which again, it, it,
It's
no,
perhaps
I don't know how to say it. Like
exaggeration, but maybe it's just, I don't know.
it's such an obvious attempt at just an attention giving. Why give it to them? And what are you sacrificing at that? Because what you really are is just a little bit normalizing that he's still part of the sphere. Mel Gibson is still directing movies that go number one. He's not in them yet, but Hollywood wants him back. I mean, so Jodie Foster wants him back, and I'm like, okay, I don't. Um,
Jodie Foster wants him.
I she's spoken out and said maybe it's time. I mean he's never apologized. First of all, what it's time for what that we all now forget. I mean I'm glad we haven't like we have since like we have January 6th apparently. Like I mean we like it's um
That's interesting. Now to say now it's time is which implies there's some kind of clock that if you say or do something disgraceful, that you just have to wait a certain amount of time, like you have a timeout, right?
well no
And it
hey
could be 5 years or 10 years, or it could be a year. And it's not about apologizing, it's just about, doing the time.
well they announce it now. They say I'll be taking a social media break. It's like a little bit of like I will, but that's and oftentimes in lieu of an apology. It's just like I'll just wait. I
Oh, I
know
see.
I'll just kind of wait it out, and then
I'll go
someone
to my room.
yeah, someone will be willing to platform me again, and it'll most likely it'll be true. I, yeah, and yeah, all of it serves to normalize it. All of it serves to just. I mean, and oh, okay, sports ball, go sports ball. Any thoughts about the Super Bowl whatsoever?
Yeah, Philadelphia. I I'm rooting for Philadelphia.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want anybody to win 3 years in a row. I don't think that's fair.
So okay, so it's the under. Yeah, I generally root for underdogs. I'm having a really hard time here just because no, neither are teams I really care about. Trump is going to be there, which kind of ruins the whole thing for me. I'm just there for the commercials this year. I think I don't think.
I watched. Well, I don't want to be a spoiler. They had all of the commercials in the Times. You could click on. You could watch them.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Okay. That will save me. Yeah, no, then I just don't have to
But
deal with.
one is only one really. I only watched one to the end, quite honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
They're, 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 they're all narrative and somewhat laborious. And I don't know. I think maybe I don't think I have a very elevated sense of humor. I think I have a pretty basic one, but my humor bar is too high still, I guess. I don't
They
know.
spend a lot of money on these commercials, and a lot of it is like, let's get two actors who are from a thing 30 years ago and have a reunion and sort of that kind of thing. But
Yeah, there's a lot of that, but they're also like the ads are like for rubber mats, and the products, I don't even know what some of them are.
yes, yeah. No,
And I still don't know what they are.
that started happening a few years ago, and like I like strange crypto products or weird, like yeah, no, I don't. Yeah,
Like
that
Squarespace or something. In other words, I guess they put their entire annual
yes,
budget into
yeah.
one
No,
ad.
this is someone who doesn't advertise almost anywhere else, and they took every single cent into a Super Bowl ad, hoping now you know our name. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah. I mean, I guess that's something. That's
So you think someone will take a pot shot at Trump at the Super Bowl?
no, I no. I mean,
No?
no, I no. I think his experience will be very carefully engineered so that he is surrounded by like-minded people and he gets his photo ops. I think they've learned their lessons around crowd size from the last time. They're going to make sure his experience as an individual, because of course you've got to cater to the baby, but also the optics of it. I think that they're much more careful around that than they were the last time. Um, and they, I
Yeah.
mean, and they control. I
Go
mean, they
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, yeah.
Well, I mean, yesterday he did make a very major announcement with international implications. He um he rescinded Biden's prohibition against plastic straws.
No, this is really
And
important.
he says, quote, paper straws don't work.
Okay. Yeah, no,
It's
this is
clear
really
the
important.
president of the United States is watching out for us.
This is yeah, no, this is worthy of an executive order. This is really important national security level. No, I know. No, the and to me, I mean, when I mean this goes all the way back to the campaign. When he's going on and on and on for hours about paper straws, and now he's actually signing executive orders about shower water pressure. I'm thinking, this is a guy who doesn't know how to adjust the pressure on his own shower, who can't figure out how to drink through a straw, and now we all have to deal with executive order. Like, have you ever used a paper straw? Yeah, they can start to get soggy. I know what he's talking about, but they work fine. I mean, and again, it is the basic
Don't
principle of
reuse them. I mean, you shouldn't reuse plastic straws either for health reasons.
no,
But
no, 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 and right, and it, but I mean, you back it up, and it's like, what a ridiculous thing. But what it really is, again, it's a signal and a dog whistle to his base, and it's just another anti-climate change. We don't believe in climate change. This is, I mean, there's no data that says more plastic is good for anyone, anything, humans, animals, our water supply, our bodies. The same week that he announced that, they announced that there's about a tablespoon of plastic in most of our brains. Like that's
yes, right,
yeah, the
exactly.
nanoplastic, like just the particles now
Yes,
that are they're in our lungs, they're in our brains. And he wants to preserve the plastic straws as some sort of like, hold it up like the American eagle as like a symbol of.
national pride. Plus, plus, if you ban paper straws, then that will hurt the Canadian economy because they export a lot of timber, which makes paper.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's
uh,
hurting the Canadians too.
um,
What I don't understand is when he was campaigning, he said the price of bacon kept going up when it was going down. He didn't say anything about eggs, and the price of eggs is now going up much faster than anything else.
yes.
What's he
And
going to
he's
do about eggs? Maybe he doesn't eat eggs.
no, and he's going on Fox News and saying, well, it's time to tighten your belt. It's going to get a little harder before it gets better. Well, for y'all, for not me and my billionaire oligarchs, but he's and his campaign, the press, whatever her name is, Levitt, was asked point blank, like, so what about grocery prices? What about his promise about grocery? He said like January 21st. What about grocery prices? And they said basically that was a campaign promise. That was, I mean, so
Oh, you
now,
believe that? In
yeah,
other words, oh, I see. But if he is slashing overnight billions of dollars from USAID and federal employee salaries,
yes.
that money should all come back to us, right? I mean, our taxes should be lower, food should be, I mean,
Um,
that's saving a lot of money.
Well, there are a few things that are interesting. Well, there are a lot of things that are interesting there. One, I mean, that was basically announced the same morning that he was giving a national prayer breakfast, which itself was interesting for a variety of reasons because he's brought back this Garden of Heroes idea, which is going to be a bunch of people like Billy Graham. He says that there needs to be more, well, religion, but he means Christianity, and I mean, in the public sphere. Like he's really pushing for to forget about separation of church and state. But at the same time, the U.S. aid is actually going to gut like Catholic charities around the world. That's actually one of the biggest.
Yeah,
Uh,
because they actually are the feet on the ground
yes,
who actually do
yes,
the work. It's paid for by USA.
yes. So.
Huh.
I mean, on one hand, he's saying, I mean, but again, but I'm sure Catholic bishops were there at the prayer breakfast applauding him as he, so I don't, it's,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
and I almost think ridiculous things like the straws are to get attention, so that you're not. It's I mean it's smoke and mirrors, so that you're not paying attention to some of the really. I mean, yeah, I mean, at the same time that Elon Musk has, high school students have access to the Federal Reserve Code, and they're it's not I mean, at first some press secretary said it was read only mode, but no, someone else confirmed they're in, and they're. I mean, if they mess
Yeah.
something up, this is like our federal. This is all our money. This is like the government's all its money. Um,
I had, uh, and maybe you do this too. We hadn't done this before at the gallery, but our insurance company wanted every employee to take a online um, learning for, well, sexual harassment, but also particularly cybersecurity,
yes.
right?
Yep.
And a lot of it was detailed, and a lot of it was actually to prevent exactly what Elon Musk is doing, right?
Yep.
Except we can't prevent him from doing it,
Yep.
but we're supposed to prevent bad actors from doing it,
Yep.
right? But we can't prevent him because he can go straight in through. You cannot trust the government with your information now. So you should make paper copies of your birth certificate and your passport and driver's license
Mm-hmm.
and put them somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else, apparently.
Okay, my my passport's expired. My driver's license is no longer good for because Washington refuses to participate in federal Republican things that they passed years ago. Our driver's licenses don't. I will no longer be able to travel domestically after I don't know April or something like that. I mean I can get an enhanced license. I guess I can get a passport. I do thankfully have my birth certificate. But no, I mean this is it. I mean this is okay. And then I mean, and other things that again, things like paper straws or I feel like smoke and mirrors, renaming the Gulf of Mexico, and then Google saying, okay, we're going to go along with that, but only in the U.S. We're getting our own version of the internet now. We're literally this is literally like an autocratic state where you get state media that only tells you what. I mean, it's and very very quickly. I mean, it's a little wild.
Well, it's interesting because there's a kind of there's a culture that's been prevalent in the UK for years, which they call Little Britain. And Little Britain is basically imagining that you are in the center of the world, but in
Yes.
fact, you have all your own rules and regulations. And what you call other people is not necessarily what they call themselves, but it's reductive. Being it's not participating
No,
in
no, no. Yeah, 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 yeah. But it's. I mean,
global affairs.
okay, because I've heard this term "Little Britain," but I don't think I understand. And but it's. I mean, this is almost. But this is like kind of alternative facts. This right? I mean, this is just
Yes,
we'll
yeah,
we will define our own reality and then live by that. Yeah, no, that's.
yes,
But I mean, okay. But then when Google was in their explanation, they said, "Well, we go by what the official things are." He's the president, and it's true. They go by what local countries. I mean, it's.
I still don't understand why a president who is one third of the whatever it is, the judiciary and the executive, how
Yeah.
one person can change the name on a map. I just don't understand it. And it's totally meaningless. It's
No, no, it
totally
is
meaningless.
totally meaningless. But it also, again, and
It's like
like,
when he took the Sharpie, and he said
no,
that.
right, right, right. You know that guy's head of NOAA now, right? That guy,
Who's that? Yes, yes,
the guy who was like, no, 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 that's right. The Sharpie map is correct. He's now head of. So we all get Sharpie maps now. No, I know, but I think uh, it's what I if nothing else Now, two Trump presidencies will show us where all the corrections need to be made, where they need to fix. Obviously, things like the electoral college, the entire election system. Things, whatever makes it so that really only 7 or 8 states. I mean, does it really make sense that if you in 42 states your vote basically doesn't count? It's going to be what it is. It doesn't count whether you're blue or red. Your state's gonna vote the way it is. It comes down to 7 or 8 states year after year after year. Does that make sense? I mean, that needs to be fixed. The executive orders. Why does it? I mean, that could be reined in. I mean, this one, the Gulf of Mexico. That's not even a U.S. thing. Why is there not an international body naming international waters? Why do like? Oh, well, as the president of Mexico pointed out, you only get naming rights up to 12 miles outside of the coast. Beyond that, it's, so it's, I mean, but, I mean, yeah, I think ultimately this will teach us all the areas that we need to fix, but in the meantime, we get to watch what happens when a child is in charge, I don't know,
Well, but making a statement like there's going to be a beautiful Riviera on the Gaza coast is it's beyond it's so I mean it's beyond ignorant.
it's
It's
also
like a dream fantasy of a New York real estate guy. I mean, it's
right,
like
but it's
who knows nothing about geography or history or Jews or Palestinians or anything. He knows nothing.
nor does he care. Nor does he care. But, it, yeah, and yeah, no, that was really dark. Yeah, that. I mean, that's. Um,
2 million people and go somewhere else. We'll build some hotels. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that really hit me. I mean, that.
I mean,
Um,
how I why every semi-educated leader in the world didn't say that absolutely stupid and absurd. I
I
mean,
mean, I
that's
think. I mean, there was pushback. I mean, there was pushback from allies and from adversaries. There was pushback, but and walk back from the own administration. I mean,
yeah,
but
but not from Netanyahu. He thought it was
right?
great.
No, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give it. We'll take it, or we'll give it to you. We'll
yeah.
do it
Well, yeah.
together.
We'll work it out between us is definitely
Yeah,
his. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
they smiled on a stage together, and that. Yeah, no, that also was very
It'll
telling.
be interesting if he meets with Putin, what happens.
Yeah,
Because the last time he agreed with Putin that, New York, U.S. intelligence was wrong.
right.
Well, now he's got has he got a CIA person now? Did he get his guy in?
I can't remember.
I thought it was very interesting that there is significant pushback from West Point when they were told to they were told to shut down their different clubs that were for diversity. And
Oh,
some
was
of
there? Huh.
what
At West Point. No, that is interesting.
West Point, and they're pushing back.
Yep.
They're working around, and the head of West Point said, we're going to maintain these clubs, they'll be off campus or whatever, and that we must have diversity in it's interesting, the armed forces is actually pushing back on that more than, or I mean, I don't know, they have a because there are so many people involved, but corporations are folding, one by
Yeah, yeah,
one,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which I think proves that they didn't have any skin in the game anyway. Now they'll save money because they don't have to pay for DEI
Yep.
starters,
Yep.
right?
No, even before they started publicly announcing it, through, let's say, like, through like 2022, 23, um, it was, as just sort of, especially the tech companies were going through rounds of layoffs. Some of the stories, especially only if you read the business press, were things like women of color were the last hired at organizations, oftentimes in diversity I mean, actually, like
Initiative.
consultancy kind
Yeah.
of roles. There to,
Yes, yes,
you know,
yeah.
and those are the first roles. Those are the first positions that are just seen as expendable. And so, yeah, no, I mean,
But
but
there was
it's kind of wild.
attrition already.
What?
There was already attrition.
Right. No, there was yes, yeah, and yes, the companies never fully understood why they were investing in these things in the first place, and so yeah, like you said, they were more than happy to give it up, and if they can get bonus points with the new administration by doing so publicly, they did the cost benefit analysis and I am not hearing significant. I heard Al Sharpton say, "Careful, we're going to start boycotting on MSNBC," and that, but I I mean I don't hear people saying I'm not shopping at any of these places. I hear people saying, um, "Yeah, I know Chick-fil-A hates gay people, but that sandwich is real. That sauce is so good." I don't, I mean, it's. And in some cases, it's gotten. I mean, it's Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Tractor Supply. Like, where would you buy hardware? Like, like certain categories, they have. It's you can't
Yeah, yeah,
boycott. So which they know, which they know you're going to shop anyway. So, um,
yeah. They're not going to. No, those products or those places or those fast food places. Um, you're not. They're not going. It's only going to be. I don't know. I don't think it has much of an effect, but people who want to, invest their money in non-defense stocks or something like that. But that doesn't make, I mean, that doesn't change anything really. It
yeah,
makes people feel good, right?
right,
But I don't think it has any, I don't think it has any impact.
yeah.
Because there's so many people who don't care or who are in fact, right wing. So that fills the.
Yeah, again, I think have been fed a an interpretation of what DEI is that I don't know. No, it really is interesting, West Point. At the same time, the Army has always been incredibly diverse. It's always relied on, I mean, just sort of a wide. Um,
Well, yes, yeah, that the army has, and what they started to do in the 70s was attempt to build an officer class so that you wouldn't have predominantly white male officers ordering around black male or female uh,
yes.
non-commissioned soldiers, and they achieved that. And he fired the top woman who was in the
Oh my gosh, he evicted her with 3 hours
immediately.
notice. All her
Yeah,
stuff was still like it just got boxed up, and someone else
yeah,
you know, and I mean the level of pettiness. He rescinded Joe Biden's security clearance, which Joe Biden did rescind his. However,
yeah.
I recall again a thing called January 6th. That was the reason Joe Biden, like, he has no reason to rescind Joe Biden, but except just
Well,
to
it's
be,
vindictiveness.
is, and, yeah,
It's,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
also it's naked vindictiveness. A naked vindictiveness will inspire fear, you know?
But, right, I mean, it should be embarrassing. I mean, it should be, people should look at that and be like, how do you, that's so petty. But instead, they celebrate it. To his, that's, you get him, you get that Joe, yeah.
Yeah, there was an interesting story about a punk. Oh, I mean, it's like it's been going for 30 years, a punk bar in Washington, D.C. And the owner gave, I think last Thursday or Friday, at the end of the week, he like opened a place for federal employees, um, to buy to drink free or whatever. In other words,
Yes.
who were either fired or afraid of being fired, and there was a New York Times reporter there, and I think the reporter was um, profoundly surprised to see that the average Washington civil servant probably had a nose ring and colored hair, not a bald guy with a gray suit and a briefcase, and that these are kind of like real people,
Yeah.
they're working actually for less than they would be paid almost
Yep.
anywhere else,
Yep.
and they are dedicated, and they are, um, and they're also patriotic too.
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
all, and so who's going to fill that? I guess they think they can do everything with AI. I don't
I was gonna
know.
say no. I was gonna say, and yeah, no, they're patriotic, and they have real jobs. They do things. They process Medicare, and they do the things that make that keep the government. I mean, it is a bureaucracy, but it is
But
it's
how many reasons? What's the population? 300 million Americans?
something 327 something. Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
lot. I mean,
yeah,
anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. Uh,
yeah. Um, what else? What are you? Do you
I
watching
don't
any?
know. I let you say what made you smile? Did anything make you smile?
What? Always my dogs. Yes. That is a good one though. No, this week. Um, this is speaking of petty. Someone's been going around my neighborhood and putting the words stickers that say Republican ballot box on all the garbage cans.
That's good. That's very
Uh,
good. That's inventive. Yeah, I like that.
So I mean, yeah, you have to take it while you can. I organized my records. That was really satisfying because I mean but I have a lot. I have more records than I can then find all the ones I want to when I want to listen to them. But so to have them actually all organized feels very very good. That was good.
Oh, that's
Uh,
very satisfying.
and then
Yeah.
and then I'm looking forward to going to Olympia this week. And I mean, it's from my colleagues and having been there, it's rough because it's a we're in a budget deficit situation, and so politicians don't want to hear you asking for more money, and they don't. But to be able to go and again and talk about why early learning is important, why every dollar invested in early learning saves $8 to $14 down the road, and that's just the fiscal. For
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's for
Yeah.
the people who think dollars and cents. For the ones who think more socially, that's also people who are diverted, who aren't in prison, people who aren't on drugs. People, I mean, every dollar spent early learning is exponentially compared
Yeah.
to anything you can do to intervene once someone much later in life.
The,
So
the beginning of the pipeline of people's lives. And
it's
and
yeah.
yeah.
So I'll keep preaching that, and that always feels and that always feels important, whether it's and no, but I also get that they're also. I mean, we had a politician say to us, "Well, we can fund early Head Start, or we can buy 3 electric ferries. Which is it?" And I get it. It can't be both. Like it's so. But no,
Electric
what's
ferries, that
well, I mean, we have some initiative that we have to have certain power, certain amount of things powered by whatever renewable by a certain, all those mandates
oh, I
that are
see.
important
Yeah.
too, because that's our children's future too. Like I can't say take dollars away
Well,
from children for,
yeah.
for the environment because no. So it's yeah, I get it.
They're both positive, but that choice has to be made.
Yeah.
Now, is Olympia more Republican or more right wing?
Um,
Olympia.
I would say, I mean, our champions, our educate early learning champions, tend to be more Democrats. Republicans, again, listen to more of the fiscal side. They want to hear more about how this gets families out and into work, and they want how childcare keeps the economy going. They're less interested again in the socio-emotional or things like that. But
Yeah.
we have people on both sides of the aisle who will listen. It helps if they have children themselves. When we get a Republican, we say, do you have children? Do you access childcare? How is it cheap? Is it expensive? And then when they start talking about their own challenges with childcare, we're like, this is what we're talking about. It
Yeah.
is you are a state senator and you can't afford it. So imagine the guy who worked at Safeway or you know.
Yeah, it's a very good point. That's excellent. Yeah. Well,
Because
good
it's
luck.
universal. I mean, it's a childcare crisis and it's universal. So, but how about you? What does your week look like? Do you have?
Um, no, I just got to try and persuade some people to buy some pictures,
And how is that? How is
but
that
money
going?
that they have on something they don't need.
Right.
No, I mean it's slow.
Yeah.
I'll do some stuff for my book, maybe,
Yeah.
uh, give a talk or something. But no, basically just getting through the snow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. 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 What is showing at the gallery right now?
we have a show of it's called portraiture, and it's actually turned out to be quite popular. It's a show. It's basically from our own inventory
Yes. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
artists from impressionism to very contemporary. You can you can you can identify almost anything that isn't entirely abstract as a portrait. In other words,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's a very wide interpretation.
Sure.
If there's a vague figure in it, then we'll call it a portrait. But it's a fun show. There are a couple of Andy Warhol self-portraits, and and despite the weather, people are coming in. I
Nice.
mean, we
Yeah.
haven't made any great sales, but
Sure.
I will be going to Hong Kong for the Hong Kong Art Fair at the end of March.
Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you about that.
Right. No, definitely. Um, and then what's your plan for the rest of the weekend?
Well, I think stay inside and
Yeah.
watch the snow. We've got our groceries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Netflix, maybe. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same. No, cuddle with the dogs and yeah. Okay.
yeah, the dogs. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love
Love
you.
you.
Have a good week.
Talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Yep. Definitely.